Good evening, everybody. Obviously, it's been quite some time since my last posting on here. Hopefully, from here on out, keep your fingers crossed. I'll be able to at least get out one per month. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'll try. In any case, tonight's posting, I wanted to cover kind of the Sierra movement in general and then go into a more defined approach on opinion and its place within the CR community as such. So, as far as Celtic Reconstruction, obviously it's a path where we end up trying to recreate the religion or spirituality of ancient Celts. That's no easy task. And to kind of reference another Reconstructionist movement, Austria in particular, they referred to their religion as the religion with homework. Now, I kind of feel akin to that. I certainly feel that within the CR community, that we certainly have to do our homework on the religion and spirituality that we're trying to reconstruct, and maybe even a little more so than those in the Austro community. I'm just going to throw that out there. Reason I say that is that at least within Austro, you have individuals like Snorri, who ended up compiling one of the Eddas. There's the prose Edda as well as the poetic Edda, and pretty much they're little tomes of mythology of the ancient Icelanders and those of Scandinavian background. But in particular, they do have these books that they can reference at least. And obviously there's a lot of sagas and so forth that are readily available. I can't say that the information on the Celts is as easily available. And obviously there's a lot of disinformation out there as well, which makes things a little bit harder. Certainly there has been a long trend to Celtify virtually everything within Wicca, and obviously that makes things a little bit harder. You certainly have to do your research and figure out what's New Age material and what actually has historical basis. But as far as our old tales, I mean, sure, we have things like the Tane and so forth, but we don't have the same compiling of sources like they did in the Norse or Asatru tradition. At least they have something major to base their system off of. With us, we more have to put it together ourselves, which it makes things a little bit more difficult, I would say. And certainly we can take the mythology, we can take folk tradition, we can take poetry, remaining aspects within early Christianity. I know that's going to be a touchy issue with a lot of individuals within the CR community, but I certainly feel that there's values that transition down into early Christianity from their pagan predecessors. I'm just going to throw that out there. I do feel that there's some value within the Celtic flavor of Christianity. It had specific differences from the way that Christianity was practiced in other parts of the world, and of course that's going to be reflective of the culture that it was created in, Celtic culture as such. But so that's another area of exploration, and we have many areas that we can draw from. Obviously archaeology is one of our best methods of finding some of this information out as well. Being that as it may, you still have to take all these little pieces and put them together into a patchwork quilt as such. And we base our theories upon the information that's gathered. And that's one thing that I really wanted to address is within the ACR community, just about everybody has a theory of how the ancient Celts practiced. And I certainly think that that's valuable, and it allows individuals to see how the information can be construed in one way or another way, and might allow for different ways of thinking. If we honestly listen with an open mind, which that's something a touchy issue with me, because I do see a lot of judgmental attitudes out there regarding, within the CR community on what exactly constitutes a good theory versus a bad theory. And I think that there's good and bad aspects of all theories. I don't think any of us are going to be able to hit the nail on the head, so to speak, on how the ancient Celts definitively practiced their religion or how they held their spirituality within their heart. And that's another issue that I'll get to in another video, is the living tradition of Celtic spirituality and how that filtered down through Christianity or folk tradition or things of that nature. But I digress. But the value of opinion, I certainly feel that if we listen to each other with open minds, we might be surprised with what other individuals come up with. And, there's a lot of very divisive issues out there that people feel very strongly about on whether something is Celtic or not, whether they feel that that's the correct way of practicing. One topic in particular is the Fomorians, and some people tend to view them with more of a demonic light, I guess you could say. Obviously, that has very negative connotations, but that's the way that they filter it. And I see a lot of people out there really harping on that aspect, saying that this is an incorrect way of viewing the ancient, I guess you could say, almost deities of chaos. But I would probably get in trouble for saying that too. But I certainly feel that chaos was a lot of what they represented, of course. But for someone to use the term demonic, I'm not going to strictly say that there's not an aspect that might be able to come out through that. If we listen to what the other person's saying, we might be able to see where they're coming from. And honestly, again, nobody is going to come out 100% right on the money of how the Celts believed concerning, the gods, concerning, their concerning chaos, or concerning any way that they practice. We do not have an ancient Celt here. We cannot talk to them. They died. And, their descendants obviously are still alive, but, majority are Catholic or various other Christian denominations and so forth. That, we've lost a lot of that original belief and so forth. But I certainly feel that there's, through talking with one another, that we'll be able to see different facets of possibilities concerning Celtic spirituality. And I really kind of pose that to all of you who might be watching this video. Stop and I'm not asking you to throw your brain out, and obviously we certainly have to use logic concerning, okay, is this really Celtic? Is this not Celtic? We have to use our brain, but just the way that somebody presents their opinion and so forth, I'm not going to immediately discount something And I have seen that where people just shut themselves off and won't even listen to another person's opinion. And, I think that there's a little bit of a danger in that. If we aren't willing to listen to one another, we're not going to grow. And, you know, the tradition's just going to die out again. Spirituality is living. It's not something that's dead, that's stagnant. And honestly, the way that the Celts practiced it, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, it changed. It evolved through time, and it's still evolving. There's still Celtic people out there. Of course, they're mostly, like I said, Christians, but their ideas and way of thinking have obviously changed over time. There's elements that have stayed consistent, and you can still see within Celtic culture, or various Celtic cultures, whether it be the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh. I mean, but at this point in time, I think this video is drawing to a close. But I leave this to all of you, and I want to hear your opinions on the value of interpretation or the value of opinion within the CR community. What do you think? I'm sure that many of you may have had the same experiences that I have had, where you've seen one individual going off, so to speak, on another, criticizing them for their views. And there's a very tactful way, of course, of respectfully disagreeing with one another. But it's when we attack one another that I think is the real danger. Because if you have somebody who has a passion for this brand, I guess you could say, of spirituality, they're really wanting to understand. They want to be part of the community. And if we're going to be combative with them, are we really stifling our growth? But put your comments below. Let me know what you think. And look forward to hearing from all of you. Hopefully I'll have another video posted within the next few days. Specifically, there was one topic that was asked that I cover, and that's Celtic rites of passage. And there's not a lot of information out there regarding Celtic rites of passage, but I certainly do feel that I've gathered enough that I can at least address it in an educated manner. So look forward to hearing from you all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.